really angry with how these corporations use DEI and
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter
Yeah.
as a marketing gimmick. It kind of makes me feel, you know, some sort of their foot traffic is down, and they're blaming it on everything else, but the fact that, they betrayed an entire community when they did that.
Yeah. Hello, everybody. B. Donald Harris here, the Notable and Black in Tech podcast presented by Bit Voices Network. I am your host, and I am excited to be here today.
Hey, I'm Major Phillips. Man, super happy to be here today. Man, it's been a long week. Who else we got with us?
Hey, this is Randall. Just here, just getting back in the swing of things, getting past these storms. So, hey, we just gonna get back in some of this tech and see what we got going.
Sound good. Randy, where you been, man? We didn't see you last week. You was out making some money?
Yeah, I was out making some money, being retrained on some things, going through some transitions. Even in robotics, there's a major transition going on. There's even a court case in robotics. It's crazy right now.
What
you
doing? I didn't do
What you
anything.
do?
It was the big folks with all the money. In the Vex world, there's a lawsuit between the two companies, that run the Vex robotics world, and they're trying to settle up and figure out things. And I told you before that First and Lego Education are ending their partnership, but that's a peaceful ending. It's not, that one's not rough. It's rough for the coaches who try to coach robotics, but it's the company just saying we're going to part ways, and we're still going to work together, but we're not going to partner anymore. And then Lego Education going to come up with their own game, and I'm still learning about World Robotic Olympiad, so I'm trying to get into tune with that. I just got all the materials for that. I just got to finish doing my electronic paperwork and things, so I can get roll into that and get my my team members so they get their teeth into the technology.
Okay. Hey,
Okay.
man, you did all that over the holiday weekend?
Yeah, been like that for the last month, man. It's still going.
Man,
Wow.
Dollar,
So, you what's up, man?
what happened?
Man, on thing happening. We've been celebrating birthdays over here. My wife and I birthdays are 3 days apart, and so
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
but she let me have my birthday because she celebrate the whole month of May. Yeah,
Oh,
because
Oh,
the whole month, and so
oh,
I get to have a day for my
you get to
birthday.
have one day.
Yeah, I
so
get to have one day.
last year she was 21. Is she 22 this year, or is she still 21? I'm trying
Man,
to.
see, you gonna have them folks think I'm robbing the cradle, man.
Hey, that's what they say. It's not what it is.
Man, don't put that out there, man. Like, man,
21
don't
legal.
put that out there like that.
21 legal.
Yeah, shoot. Well, she
What you talking
25
about?
and some change then.
Yeah, there you go. You feel better?
25 and some change. Well,
Yeah,
you talking about
yeah.
birthday, talking about celebrating. We just celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary on the 19th.
Okay,
Okay,
congratulations. 25
congratulations.
years.
Yeah, thanks. And Major, we got a cousin in Dallas that just celebrated his wedding day was the same as mine.
The Larry?
No, Larry ain't married.
Oh, Carrie birthday.
Carrie,
Carrie
yeah, he
birthday.
celebrated. I don't know how many years, but his wedding day is the same as mine.
Oh, yeah.
And then our aunt Althea, her birthday's on the same day, so everybody crowded on her day.
That was a beautiful day. That's what's
Yeah,
going
okay.
on.
Yeah, then,
Okay.
my birthday
So,
coming up Monday. Talking about birthdays. My birthday is Monday. I'll be 60. Can you believe it?
Oh,
milestone.
oh,
Okay, okay.
oh. You
Okay,
about ready to
so,
reach
okay.
the beach?
Yep, June 1st.
Yeah. All right. So let's roll back though, this 25 years. So, did you do right? Did you were in good standing with the missus?
Yeah, I'm in good standing. Look, out of 25 years, I did one major mess up. I think that's pretty good.
Okay.
I think
Okay,
that's pretty
okay.
good. I mean, because
That's good.
none of us are perfect. We're always perfecting. You know,
Right. Okay.
Right. And
Okay.
that
getting it
show,
better.
5 years is good, man. Congratulations.
Lady,
I know how
congratulations,
hard that
congratulations.
is. It's hard to get to 25, and y'all made it. And I hope y'all get to 50. That's beautiful. That is beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, and on that note, we'll be here in 26 on the 3rd, on Randall.
Man, y'all
Okay,
some OGs.
on the 3rd of June, 26.
I don't want to
Yes,
say
yes.
nothing
Oh man,
about
I mean,
mine.
got married about a year after you. That's a trip.
Yeah, that is a trip. That is a trip. That's a trip. So, anything interesting going on in tech right now, in the tech world, Major? I know you keep up with all the news and stuff.
Oh man, it's all about AI, and it's all about Google coming out with all these new technology with Gemini. Uh, Google's Gemini model is supposed to be like,
Yeah.
basically they got an upper hand on Anthropic and OpenAI. I'll tell you why.
Anthropic. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Why would you gonna just say they got an upper hand? Because
Mm.
they already know everything about us. We've been on Gmail for 25 years. They
You
got
said
all of
25
that
If not
years.
history.
longer. If not longer.
Yeah, they got
It's
that
been
much
that long
history.
already.
Yes. You
Mm.
got your Google, you got your Google Maps. They know everywhere you go. That you got your Google Pay. They know what you're buying. You got your Gmail. They already know what your conversation like. So they go. We got all these agents, autonomous agents that can do things for you. But
Yeah.
they say Google, it don't need to learn, right?
It's
Because
already learned.
every time we use an agent, we got to tell it, right? We got to give it a prompt. Do this, do this, do this, do this, and then do this, right? And then every time you start over, you come back the next day, you got to retell it. Do this, do this, do this, do this. Google, I already know what you want, boss. I've been messing with you for
Yeah.
25 years. You ain't got
Yeah.
to tell me what to do. I already know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
'Cause
that
I
that
believe
sounds
they. I believe they.
that
Go
sounds
ahead,
like
Randall.
this other gentleman that I listen to. He does a lot of product um, demos and stuff, and he talked about Siri yesterday and how Siri is still basic and has to ask ChatGPT for help.
Yep, that's true. Yeah.
Wow.
So
So,
that just show you how Siri and Gemini, how they're just totally different. And let me throw in Samsung because their new line of phones are going to include a brand new AI chip.
Okay. Somebody
okay.
about to make some money.
Yeah.
Somebody gonna make some
Yeah.
money.
And so, Google. And I believe Google just made some enhancements to the search engine, and they talked about the search engine is going to be AI enabled. But on that same note, just this week, Anthropic just dropped 4.8 on the Opus 4.8. Yeah,
Oh, open. You
yeah, yeah.
really?
They just dropped. Yeah, yeah. Because I believe because a lot of people were migrating from Claude to Codex because Codex had a really good guy has a really good model, and so because 4.7 just came out a month or so ago, and they just
Yeah.
dropped 4.8 this week.
I got to get back on it. I was doing a project. I got to get back on it. I was
Are
doing.
you to slow down your project?
Yeah, I need to get back on it, man. I gotta do the rollout, the part that I don't like. You sure know what to say. It is 4.8. I'm looking at it right now. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, so so look, we can chitter chatter, keep on doing that, but we do have a guest today, and we're gonna bring on. What's going on, builders? I'm B. Donald, founder of Bit Voices Network. Bit Voices is a community built for Black builders, technologists, founders, creators, and entrepreneurs who are building ideas, businesses, platforms, and futures. We created Bit Voices because too many builders are doing important work in isolation, but building moves better in community. Inside Bit Voices, you can share what you're building, connect with other builders, and join building hubs designed to help you find your people, get support, and keep moving. And you don't have to figure it all out alone. Let me introduce you to the Builder Council.
Welcome, Builder. I'm Unk AI, the community mentor. And let me tell you something plain. Your idea was never meant to grow in isolation. Bit Voices is a place where Black builders can show up, share what they're building, ask for support, and be reminded they are not building alone. This is more than a feed. This is a community built for builders like you.
I'm Coach A, the community activator, and I'm going to say it plain. If you've been sitting on the idea waiting for everything to be perfect, it's time to move. Bit Voices gives you a place to post the update, ask the question, share the win, and find people who are building too. Join the Builder Hub right now. Get in motion and start building. No more circling the runway. Let's build. It starts today.
I'm Auntie Nova, the community strategist. And baby, building is not just about doing more. It is about moving with clarity. Builder Hubs help you connect with people who understand your lane, your stage, and your direction. That means better conversations, stronger relationships, and smarter moves. Because the right community does not just cheer for you, it helps you see the next strategic step.
I'm Dr. V, the community architect, and every builder needs a system that helps ideas become progress. Bit Voices gives you a place to organize your builder identity, make your work visible, and connect through builder hubs. Whether you are building an app, a startup, a platform, or a community initiative, you need structure, you need feedback, you need signal. Builder hubs help the work move from idea to action.
If you're building something, there's a place for you here. Bit Voices is where Black builders can be seen, supported, and connected to a community that understands the journey. So if you're ready to share what you're building, find your people, and build with more momentum, join us. Come into Bit Voices, join a builder hub, and let's build together. We're waiting for you. Bit Voices Network, built by builders for builders. Visit bitvoices.network. There's a place for you here. We got Michael Brown is coming on. He's a technology executive, entrepreneur with 3 decades, just like you, Randall, of experience spanning finance, healthcare, retail, and enterprise software. He's driven by a commitment to community as much as craft. He founded the Juneteenth Conference, an event dedicated to celebrating and supporting Black excellence in technology. Today, Michael is focused on the frontier of AI development through Arachne, a platform that simplifies the software development lifecycle for AI systems, giving engineering teams the security, governance, and observability they need to build with confidence. He's based in Seattle and is a co-founder of Synaptic Weave. So without any further ado, Michael Brown, welcome to the pod.
All right.
Welcome.
All right. So Michael, 30 years. I know. So you've seen a lot on this technology front. Oh, you on mute? I think you on mute, Mike.
Sorry, I had turned it off.
Every meeting I'm in.
We were trying to locate where the echo was coming from.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a journey, definitely. I started off with help desk, moved into network administration, and then finally into software development, which has been my passion. I got my first computer when I was 8. Back when you know, you could name what your computer was. Now it's just like I got a Dell or something, but it was like
Yeah.
I had a Tandy 1000
Wow.
with
Yeah.
I remember those.
Tandy.
with yeah. So and you know, I first cut my teeth on programming at the ripe age of 8. There was this magazine called Compute back in the day, and at the
I
back
remember
of
that
the
magazine.
I remember Compute.
at the back they had the code listings where you type in the code, and for me,
Yep.
I got a free game. I'm like, okay, but you know, looking back at it, it's like, okay, what's an 8-year-old doing programming? You know, it's like, wow.
You know, look, I can identify with that, Mike. I was 9 when I started. I had a Commodore 64. Same scenario. Getting those and putting those programs in, because it's like you put in that code and then it do something. It felt like magic, and I just fell in love.
You know, that's actually what I've given it as an analogy is like it's the closest thing we have to magic. You know, you basically take your mental focus and turn it into something, you know, turn it into like something that can be interacted with. And now with like things like electronics, you can actually like affect the real world, you know. So
Yeah.
it's exciting.
Yeah, that's
Now
my
I'm
big
going.
forte
It's like
is electronics, where you can dream up a circuit, and if you can actually engineer it and put it together, and then you go get the parts and put it together and see it work. That was my magic, was
Yeah.
getting those components.
yeah.
So I'm gonna get. So I want to give Randall his flowers now. That thank you very much, Randall, because Michael, you were talking about that Tandy 1000. My mother gave me that Tandy 1000. I remember it, and I didn't know what to do with it. And I actually went to Randall, and he gave me a book with some programs in it, and that was the first time I wrote something on a computer. I didn't know what I was doing, but he said it's got to be exactly like it is in this book, or it ain't gonna work. So, man, so Randall, thank you, man.
We appreciate it. You know, anytime, because that's the way it was. Because I'm like Michael, you would find these programs and type them up. That's when I rewrote one of my programs I was playing with. It was a game. It was a Star Trek. You know, I'm a Trekkie, so I saw the Star Trek game written in BASIC, and it was probably 300 lines long. You know, and I typed it all in, troubleshooted it for the machine I was on, got it fixed, and said, I want this game to do more. So I started inventing stuff, you know.
Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
So we
Nice.
talking about all of that stuff. So Michael, what started it for you? Did you have somebody like I did, you know, that helped you out from the beginning, or you just kind of stumbled into it? What happened?
No, so it was basically uh in Chicago there's and I'm sure every major city has something similar. It was the Museum of Science and Industry, and it had an exhibit for computers and like how they were about to like be a major part of society. And my grandma saw how like enamored I was with it, and so like that that Christmas she bought me the computer. Well, it was the family computer, but it was for me.
It was yours.
Yeah.
Same here.
And
Wow.
so what happened after that? I mean, you did it just blossom into a love?
Well, I
Or
mean, like I knew from then like that I wanted to be in technology. You know, I wanted to be a software developer. Um, I tease my mom about this a lot, and you know, this also goes into my my attitude towards my children in terms of encouraging their passion. You know, I said, yeah, I want to be a software programmer, and my mom was like, "Why you want to be a software programmer? They don't get paid anything." And so,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
well, she came up. You know, she was a boomer, and so
Hmm.
like when when she was coming up, like software developers were more or less secretarial work. It
Yeah.
wasn't the internet. It wasn't the kind of career path that it is now. But like that's when I tell my daughters, like anything they show interest in, I'm like adding fuel to it. It's like, and so
Yeah.
my middle daughter, she like really took to drawing, and like right now she's at Seattle University. It's actually Cornish that was acquired by Seattle as she started, um, and it's strictly an arts program. So performing media, and so she's studying animation. She's
Cool.
and like the thing is like I wouldn't. You have to remove um, the notion that like there's not something isn't a good pursuit because you can't get paid money for it.
Right.
Because I've always felt that like with just like Steve Jobs said, with passion comes excellence, and
Yep.
excellence you get good enough that someone will pay you for it. You have this guy who does performative art where he paints upside down to music, and they pay him like 10,000 per performance. It's like, so follow your passion, and like the money will come.
Yep.
Right.
I agree. I
I
agree.
agree. That's what I was doing. I was following the money. You know, one of my things I advise young people is to, get your set of skills, and then if one of those skills go out, get another one, exchange it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I follow what you're saying.
So Randall said he followed the money. Y'all heard that right? He said follow your passion, Randall.
Yeah.
But that was the passion. The
My
passion was to
passion
get more
is money.
skills to follow the money, because you got to keep those
Right.
skill sets up.
My passion is the money, right?
So look, tell us. I know you talked about arcane. Am I pronouncing it right? Arcane.
No, so it's Arachne. So
Arachne. You know what? I knew I was pronouncing it wrong.
Yeah, that's that public
Arachne
education.
was a master weaver, so it ties into my company name, Synaptic Weave, and
Okay.
the idea is that like we're constructing the fabric of AI and the future of the web. Like I really believe that like just like you had the original web, you had Web 2.0.
Yeah.
I kind of like bypassed Web 3.0 because that was a hype word, but
Yeah.
Tim Berners-Lee, his original vision for the web was the idea of the semantic web, and you look at AI and these agents that are able to comprehend the internet now, and so now we're moving into this era of the synaptic web, of the semantic web, and like I started with I actually started learning AI. Like AI has come into the mainstream now, but I started learning the neural networks and natural language processing before
There you go.
the LLMs became big. And I actually had this thought, like I'm like, okay, how can we enhance the search engine by doing NLP on our web crawl, where we don't just do like fuzzy text searches. We actually understand the entities that are mentioned, like in a newsletter or a Wikipedia article. And so, now that we have these amazing, this major leap forward in what AI is able to do, um, we have that capability now where we can actually move forward to, and um, you know right now, like agents are going to be everywhere. Like back in the 2000s, it was like, do you have a website? It's going to be, do you have an agent? Because, like most websites aren't going to be, your major visitors aren't going to be humans. It's going to be an agent that's trying to do something, and we need to prepare for it.
So, Michael, let me ask you a question. Have you heard this article or this? I really want an article, it's a story on. I think it was Anthropic. They created an agent and gave it a fictional company to run, and gave it a bunch of fictional emails and basically let it be autonomous, right? And what happened is, I can't get. I'm probably not going to get this right, but the agent was reading an email saying something about we need to get rid of this agent, and so the agent started doing things to blackmail and basically turn the company upside down.
I've read about that.
I wanted to ask you, what are some current, because you were talking about agent, what concerns you most about what the direction that we're going?
Well, I mean, I think the big thing is just like with the dawn of the web, like people were thinking about what we can do, and they weren't thinking defensively. The security nightmares are already out there. It's like, this one well, I mean, it's not a secret. Lovable. This one guy signed up for this AI tool that gave them access to their entire Google workspace, and then that site was compromised, and now like it could have been worse, but it was kind of bad as it was, and then I think Vercel had the same thing happen, and I think there, back in the day, there was this site called worsethanfailure.com, and it like listed a bunch of well, the abbreviation was WTF.
Okay.
and so it listed all these like code and information systems nightmares that people would just come in like in the morning with their coffee and like drink and read and laugh. And so now the same thing has happened with AI, where people are like, oh, well, I vibe coded this website. It's making $30,000 a month, but now someone found the key to the database and all my users' information on it. It's like, so, like being able to prototype without understanding software is great, but being able to prototype without understanding software is what gives you these security and AI nightmares.
We've been preaching,
and like there's like a bumper crop of agencies now that basically their basic premise is like, yeah, we'll fix your your Lovable or Vercel vibe coded app for you. And they're making, But speaking on anniversaries, my wife and I just celebrated our 24th in March.
Man, all
wow. Yes, sir. All right, congrats.
We'll hit 25 next year. So.
Okay, everybody 20. I feel left out.
Nah, man, you ain't left out, bro. You'll get there. You'll get there.
Yeah, long time, bro.
You'll be an old man, but you will get there.
Yeah.
Yep.
You brought up something really interesting because that is a concern. Like I said, being able to, and vibe code. And I really hate that term vibe code. It always gets under my skin when I hate that term vibe code. I'm like, come on. But when you don't have to understand the software, and you build these real world tools, and everything is vulnerable. Your data is vulnerable. All that stuff. Someone can get your AI key, and they can burn through tokens, and they're willing to have a $15,000 bill this month. because it's so yeah. That whole thing
15,000
about
is light.
it's like well yeah it's like I'm being conservative. You're right. It's like and so yeah it's just uh it just opens up this whole world of everyone having these machine guns and just going out just shooting up everything.
Yeah.
So
And I
it's
think it's
crazy.
incumbent on these companies to like bake security in. If you're saying like anyone can make an application just by prompting, you need to create. And so now, like there's been three phases of AI, and like it develops so rapidly. Um, you mentioned 47 came out. No, it was 46 that came out a month ago. 4.6.
It
Um,
it was
yeah,
4.6 and then
and then
4.7.
like
Yeah,
about like 4.7 kind of like came in under the radar, and now we're at
it did.
4.8.
No,
But
yeah, that's true.
but you, we started with focusing on prompt engineering, right? Like making the perfect prompt to get what you wanted from the AI, and then we moved on to context engineering, and that's where we talk about building up the context for the AI so that it does more like what we want it to do.
Correct.
And now we're moving on to what people are calling harness engineering,
Oh yeah,
and
the harness.
that's where you build the structure around the model. The prompt is just like is like the smallest element
It is.
in within this sea of infrastructure, and that's what Arachne. I was doing that before the term harness engineering came up. But that's what Arachne more or less is. We build in. I'm hearing an echo now. We build up. What are these things? We build up. You know. RAG pipelines. We build in. Memory management and and pre and post flight uh, checks, both agent checks as well as hard code checks. Like a and so I as I was building it, and the reason I built it was I was actually developing the AI coaching productivity coach, and it's as I was building it, I was like, oh, I need like support. I was building out this infrastructure for my tool, and then I was like, oh wait, this is kind of like the the product that I need to be working on is the infrastructure. And so as I looked at what was on the market, there were a lot of observability gateways and things like that where you had to point your AI to their gateway so that I could work on it. I'm like, well, if I just deploy the AI in my gateway, and so I ended up making like a Docker-like experience for AI. So you define your agent, you define the knowledge base that the agent has access to for the RAG pipeline, and you define again the supporting infrastructure, and then you can package it. So now that you can package it, I could say, oh, I have this Wikipedia agent uh, just just deployed on your Arachne instance, and now just like I can go and pull down Postgres, I can go and pull down the Wikipedia agent or I, my favorite demo is the Magic the Gathering uh, judge that I built. So like it understands all the rules and says like I could go in and say like, oh, give me what happens when Solemnity and this other card, I can't think of the names right now. But Magic has a lot of deeply layered and complicated rules, and
Yeah.
to demonstrate an AI that can understand that and give you the answer at a judge level was pretty fun.
So how many agents you done built so far?
I got
That's what I
So,
thought.
so like I started doing this at Microsoft, and we actually, I was on what is now being known as the forward deploy engineer. That was what our team did for Microsoft's customers. And we were doing it. I think I can name it. We were doing it at GM. We were doing it at a major energy grid provider. They wanted to look at their this thing stuff you learn. This thing called line sag, and what that is between the towers, the line runs,
Sag. Yep.
and if it goes too low, the energy will arc to the ground and cause a fire. And so they had like hundreds of thousands of miles of electrical lines that, okay, when the snowstorm comes, we have to lower our our voltage because we don't know how low the lines are. But now they put this device on there that actually can measure the angle of the line off of the tower. And so because of that measurement, they're able to say, okay, well, this line is about 100 meters off the ground. So we have to lower the voltage. So they could do it without actually doing a visual check.
Wow.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lower the voltage
Nice.
in that line. Gotcha.
Yeah. Or not voltage, but
The
the
current.
current going.
Current.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that sounds like current over voltage.
Right.
The engineering is kicking in over here.
Hey man,
Yeah.
look, I failed electrical engineering. That's why I went to computer engineering. Thank you very much. Hell with a circuit.
Well, that's what kills you is the current, not the voltage.
But yeah, so
Yeah.
at Microsoft over the past 3 years, I've probably worked on about 12 to 15 agents, and then and deployments, and you get to see like some of the current struggles. Like for the most part, people are doing. You have two paths to build an agent. You use lane chain, lane graph, or whatever, but it's code, or you build it into one of these existing platforms. You build it on Vertex, or you build it on Bedrock, or you build it on Azure Foundry, but that's locked into their system. And while I was building Arachne, I came across Oracle's Open Agent spec, and I'm like, oh wow, this is like exactly what I've been doing. So like
Okay.
I've been following that spec, and it's been a fun journey. I actually got into a startup accelerator and just graduated like a few weeks ago, and like the process of building a product, and marketing it and finding your customers, like people think like, oh, I can code this up, like oh, I could have done Twitter. It's like, no, you couldn't have, because there's so much more than just writing the code. Like
I'm right there right now with my product. I'm like, now I got to try to get it out and market it. And yeah, this is the part where it's not fun for me.
Yeah.
That's the hard part. Yeah. Especially being if you're a straight tech person that's not used to doing that type of presentation, getting people and sign my list, comment. That's a stretch, and it take a whole different type of mindset.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely been a growth journey for me. It's like, like I definitely identify as an introvert, but it's I've been coming out of my shell lately and like getting involved with the local startup and business community, and like it's been there's been things I've been thinking about for a while on it, and so that's part of what I'm doing with Juneteenth Conference is like I registered, and hopefully we get approved. I registered 4 running the chapter of the startup accelerator I was in, to help Black entrepreneurs, you know, uh, learn and go on this same journey with some support that I've been on.
Mhm.
Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
can you tell us? Like, I want to know more. What is this Juneteenth conference? What is that? What is that
Okay.
about?
Yeah, so we started it up in it's actually funny. I launched it in 2020 during the pandemic, and it was actually the story is wild. So like I'm sitting on the second, which was my anniversary, my first anniversary at Microsoft, and I was like, I really want to make. I've always been thinking about what can I do to make an impact, and I'm like, what can I do? I've got through my first year. How can I make my presence known here? And I'm watching Blackish, which was the Juneteenth episode,
Okay.
and I'm like,
All right.
yeah, I could do something for Juneteenth. I'm like, well, it's June 2nd. I thought we could pull something together in 14 days. So I was like, okay, well, I'll get set up and have it ready for next year. And then I'm like, no, I've been learning the concept of the lean startup, and the core idea is that you do the minimal viable product, like the least
Yeah.
amount of work to get validation that what you want to do. And it's like, so if I was to like build this in shadow, and no one shows up, that was a waste of my time. And so the first thing I did was put up this really crappy landing page, juneteenthconf.com. It's not crappy anymore, but like that first landing page, but all it did was like collect it's like, hey, if you're interested in this, sign up, give me your name, your email, and what you're interested in doing for the conference. Do you want to attend? Do you want to speak? Do you want to help build the infrastructure? And by the end of that day, like I had like 1,000 registrants. I had
Wow.
someone come to me because like, the org I worked in at Microsoft used to be developer evangelism, so they're used to like putting on events and stuff like that. So, one of my coworkers was like, "Oh yeah, I've got this virtual conference platform all set up." Blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, and like we had people like Angie Jones and uh a few other like important like people
Okay.
as important names in the tech industry actually sign up. And she teased me one day because like I was like so excited. We started off with like I was like, oh, we could have like 5 people and like and call it a day. And like we ended
Yeah.
up having 20 speakers and like had to spread it to 2 days and
Wow.
2 different tracks. So like,
So you looked up and then came with a big old conference.
yeah. Well, so
Yeah.
like the luck happened was when one of the writers for Business Insider was interviewing me about the usage of insensitive terms in tech, like master slave and
Okay.
blacklist, whitelist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she saw me tweet about it and she said, "Hey, I want to ask you more about this." And so like, I gave her some good words and like was featured in that article. I said, "Hey, while we're at it, I'm launching a conference, Juneteenth conference," and she like interviewed me for that and featured my story there, and I think that drove a lot of traffic to
Oh wow.
to the opportunity.
Wow.
Wow. That is a crazy story. That is a crazy story. And so it's well, yeah, we pushed up on June in a couple of days. Now so June is coming up. So what's big for this year? Anything big this year? Anything special this
Well,
year for
yeah.
Juneteenth?
So we're we're doing it in person and in Chicago, which this guy with big ears is doing his event there as well.
Who is
Barack
that?
Obama,
Oh my!
presidential.
You gonna go up against Barack Obama?
Right. I'm not trying to, but I mean, it's still something.
Yeah,
Like,
his
what?
library opens up on Juneteenth.
Yeah. They they have a big campus over
Yeah.
there that they're opening and making available. It's like I'm not important enough, I guess, to get space there. But
You
like
never know.
maybe
He
next
might
year we'll
show up.
work
He
on it.
might show up at yours.
Yeah, right. But so one day we're doing a conference, and then the second day, I'm hosting a workshop on AI development, and then doing a hackathon for that day as well.
Okay.
Oh,
Awesome.
okay.
Awesome.
Y'all giving away some prize money? $20,000, $50,000.
Woo.
Not that much, but yeah, there'll be various prizes there as well.
Nice.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Awesome. Yeah, man. Why Chicago? That's your home? Is that where you from originally?
That's my hometown. That's my hometown,
Oh,
man.
we home.
no
we
matter.
really are homies then, because that's my hometown. I was born in Chicago.
Yeah.
Now, so like, here's the thing. I haven't lived there in over 20, almost 25 years, but it's still home to me. It's like,
Yeah.
You like your beef? You like your beef dipped?
the Italian beef, yeah,
Yeah.
man. Not, like I go to like the small delis, not the big brand names that they kind of lost their way. So
Yeah, Giordano.
no, I love Giordano's. Yeah,
We got them in Texas.
yeah, I saw that. Are you near Houston?
I'm in Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah, we got like 3 of them, and they taste terrible.
It's good in Chicago, so you
it's good in Chicago, but yeah, here it's terrible.
my lord.
So what happened in Texas? What they do in Texas?
I mean, it's just a name, they like I think like like local sourcing in Chicago, like, but like when you do the franchise and move out and like go to other areas, it's different. It's different. It's different products being sourced.
Yeah. So yes. Sometimes it hurts the brand when you try to expand and franchise in multi locations.
Yeah, we talked about that with Starbucks, right?
Yeah, we did.
Sure did.
Same
Off
thing.
the screen,
Yeah.
I don't want to get people angry at me. They might.
What is something? So you like? I mean, Chicago's home, man. Chicago is a foodie's paradise.
Oh yeah.
And what do you miss about Chicago? Is it pizza? Is it that beef we talk about? Polish? What you miss?
What I miss the most about Chicago is not the food. It's the commutability. So like you don't need a car in Chicago.
No, you don't. No, you don't need a car.
And New York is even better. Like New York, the car is actually a hindrance because like you try and get downtown, you try and get down lower Manhattan in New York in a car, that'll take you like an hour versus like 15 minutes on the sea line.
Right. Man, so you say you missed the L?
I mean, just like like going to the grocery store, I gotta get in my car because it's like 2 miles away. Downhill.
Right.
So like if like it's hilly up here in Seattle.
Oh yeah.
In Seattle, it's like I don't mind like the walk, but like when you're walking uphill, man, like a mile feels like a
Hey, I
marathon.
understand. When we lived in Chicago, there was a Jewel's about 3 blocks up the street. Like I say, it was flat. We walked there, go shopping, and walk back to the apartment.
Yeah. We had Jules. We had actual local. What is this thing called? We had local grocery stores as well. You hear a lot about food food deserts. You know,
Yeah.
Chicago, our
Yeah.
neighborhoods were pretty well, you know, like, but I look back at it, I'm like, man, that grocery store like always smelled weird and like had the fresh fruit. And I'm like, it wasn't the best, but it made do. You know what I'm
You
saying?
got it done.
Yo, Black builders, if you're out here learning, building, experimenting, and trying to find your people, Bit Voices Network is for you. This is more than just another platform. It's a space where Black technologists, founders, creators, and future builders can be seen, supported, and in motion together. Share what you're working on. Join the conversation. Tap into builder hubs. Learn from others who are building for real. We're not just talking about ideas over here. We're building culture, community, and momentum. Join us inside Bit Voices Network. Come build with us.
Like I was just telling somebody, you know, we had other things. We had actual butcher shops and fish markets. We had to go in there and get fresh fish and fresh beef and stuff. We went to those places, and the grocery store was everything else.
Yeah. Yeah. I get my fish from a fish market because if I'm gonna cook some fish, I gotta go to a fish market because the grocery store fish,
Right.
I need, it just ain't gonna do it. It don't do it for me.
It's not the same thing.
No, no.
I don't want it.
Man. Yeah, you know, it's kind of different. You know, like I always recommend people like go to your local butcher, get to know them, and like because you're going to get better quality and better service.
Y'all gonna get better
because,
quality.
you know, they're not the big chain that you know is like focused on margins and stuff. Yeah, margins.
Yeah.
Speaking
Yep.
of, I mentioned Eric's book, Lean Startup, but he just released a new one called Incorruptible, and it's about building a better company, you know, and how can you like avoid basically what he calls financial corruption in your company. And
Okay.
basically the idea is like he gives these examples of different companies like that have done that, like Novo Nordisk, that started out with the idea that like, well, the one of the owners was dying of diabetes, and it's like that was something you die of back. It's like you find out you have diabetes, and like it's like okay, well, you might live a year or so, but
Really?
that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
there
it
was
used to be. Yeah,
there was no way to treat it, and so they found out about this new cure in Canada, went and got it, and they're like, okay, let's build a company around providing science and medical science for people. And one of their core premises was that this shouldn't like it shouldn't be like put you in the poorhouse to do
Right.
this. And
Right.
so Novo Nordisk was built on that idea, and they set up a nonprofit board that governs the corporation, and they said like, okay, the corporation has to be in the interest of science every major move. And so when when the company came to acquire them, and the shareholders were like, oh, look at this, we can sell to this company and like make a boatload of money. And the nonprofit arm was like, well, what purpose does this serve? How does this advance science? And they're like, we'll make a boatload of money. And it's like,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah,
shut it
science and money
down.
don't go together.
They shut it down later on. That company that was trying to acquire Novo got acquired by GlaxoSmithKline and was shut down. So like we wouldn't, and
Yeah.
he's pointing out it's like, no matter how strong principles you have as a founder, and this is a lot on my mind because I'm trying
Yeah.
to like, I have a vision, and I have a vision for how how I can make a positive impact with my company,
Yeah.
with a commitment to being a good citizen, my corporation being a good citizen.
Right.
And the other example you gave was Saul Price, who founded this company called FedMart, and basically his whole idea was to put the customer first. It was a grocery chain. We talked about Kroger and stuff and other large chains, and like rather than like he would say to someone like, hey, don't buy milk from us, buy milk from this company that's trying to get you in the door with cheap milk, but buy the rest of your stuff from us because we'll save you money. His board was like, okay, well, but we could get more money. And they pushed him out and eroded the trust that he had worked to build with his customer base. Later on, he founded another one. He was like, I could do it once, I could do it again. Founded another a grocery chain, a membership-based retail chain, and today that kind of lives on in Costco. And so, like, when Eric was first talking about this, I was like, man, this almost sounds like Costco versus Target, where Target was like, oh, I'm really, especially being in the center of it with Juneteenth Conference, I'm really angry with how these corporations use DEI and Black Lives Matter as a marketing gimmick. And then once the trend is over, they're like, okay, we're ending all of that. And it kind of makes me feel some sort of schadenfreude to see that that their foot traffic is down, and they're blaming it on everything else but the fact that they betrayed an entire community when they did that. And Costco's number went up because they doubled down. They're like their board and their shareholders were like, oh yeah, we need to get rid of these DEI policies. They're not doing what we thought they was. Like, no, it was never a gimmick. And Costco doubled down, and I love seeing their traffic is being rewarded. And they're local to Seattle. There are no
I did not realize
Sam's
that.
clubs. There are no Sam clubs in the Seattle area.
Really?
Like, what?
Y'all prejudiced against Sam Club?
Well, I mean, they're going. They're homers. It's like, and you look at the reason. Costco really treats their employees well. So it's customers then employees. You have happy employees, it shows up in the environment. It's like
It does.
And they're like, hey, would you like some food samples? And I'm like, yeah, sure, I would. But now you figure out why is that above market rates for their employees, great benefits, profit sharing, and why can't we all do that? And what Eric talks about is that the benefits are obvious, especially long term. Costco has weathered the storm. Novo is over 2 centuries old now. Well, almost over a century old. So 1885, I believe they were founded. And you keep seeing he gives case after case of these companies that think differently and say like, okay, well, let's go for the long term. Let's go for positive growth. Let's go for customer trust and relationships. And no, you're not going to get the boom short term that you would get like for more exploitative models. Where companies use layoffs to make their financial quarter or whatever. But in the long term, you build this blossoming garden of positive wealth. So like wealth gets created, you know, like if I'm getting value out of it and you're getting value out of it, where does that net value that both sides feel they're benefiting from? You know, most people
Yeah.
think of it as like as a zero sum game, but no, wealth isn't. I take from you and you give and I give to you something that isn't at the value that you're paying for it. Wealth is like, I feel like I'm getting what I need out of this, and you are getting what you need out of it,
Yeah,
and no
exactly.
one has to lose, you know. But
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mike, I got a question for you. So I'm always trying to help out the, mentor and help out the youth or, whoever is seeking help, man. I got a simple question for you. So during your success, what can you give me one habit that has made you successful that you consistently do all the time?
I think I've never lost my curiosity and my passion to learn. You know, it's like,
Okay.
you know, and I've never I I used to have a lot of ego in what I do, but I never, like, when I write code, it's to solve a problem,
Yeah,
and I take no ego in it. And it's like and that way when someone said, you know, like a lot of people can't take criticism, and
But when
some
you say
people,
ego, what does that mean? When 'cause for the listeners, ego
oh yeah,
with
yeah,
writing
ego
code.
means like, you know, like I write something and like, you know, you swell up with pride and you're attached to it, and you feel you have to defend it against all comers. You know, it's like,
Right.
and I feel like you don't learn when you're defensive, when you listen to criticism and you don't take it. And you know, there's positive, there's negative criticism, and I've, you know, like I gave a talk last year in the summer, and you know, like not a lot of people gave feedback, and the one guy who gave feedback was very negative, and he's like blah blah blah, and I'm like, okay, I could just turn that off, or I could like try and pick out from the negativity of his statement what are some points that I can take in about
Mm-hmm.
future versions of this talk or future versions of
yeah,
whatever talk I'm giving. If you don't do that, if you're defensive and you know you're like, oh, what do they know? You're never going to learn. You're never going to
right,
grow. And so, just
right.
remove yourself from the equation. Don't take it personally. Your work is your work, and
Hmm.
you can there's always room for improvement.
It
That
is.
kind of puts
It
me in
is.
mind of alpha and beta testing. And I know one of the products that I had wrote for myself, you know, I knew how it worked. So, but when someone saw it and wanted to use it, I said, wait a minute, I got to clean this up a little bit more. And then when I cleaned it up and I gave it to her, I said, well, tell me everything that goes wrong with it
Yeah,
because you're going to end up being my beta tester, you know.
right.
And they gave me, you know, things went wrong with it. Speaking of the Tandy 1000, she was actually using a Tandy 1000 with my software, and it wasn't. It appeared that it wasn't saving the data in the database.
Hmm.
And I said, why is it not doing it? It's doing it on mine, not doing it on hers. So I actually copied her program on a disk and ran it on my computer, and it ran the same way it did on the Tandy. I had to figure out why it did it. And here's a simple thing that happened. I had to write a rewrite program inside as a repair function and put it on her computer. And when she had that same problem, she would call me. I would say, well, press this letter that's not on the menu, and it run to a repair menu, and it will rewrite the database, and it will go back to working.
Oh wow.
Oh, hell no.
No,
Oh, I'm
it's
sorry.
Oh,
I was in work mode for a second. Oh, hell. Man.
It was was the 10. That was a crazy.
I know. I'm sorry.
It only happened on the 10. It would, but that's the thing about testing software. You got to test it on different machines and see what
You
happens.
Yeah.
do.
And you can't have
You
your
do.
ego in the way, like he was saying, of that problem.
No.
No,
And
you cannot have the ego in the way. And like I said, like you said, feedback can come back in two ways. It can come back in a positive fashion, and it can come back in a negative fashion. But the thing is, it's another set of eyes looking at it from another perspective that you have not seen, that you have not thought of.
Right.
And so a lot of times we need that other perspective. We need those insights. We need that feedback. That like I said, that's how we grow. That's how we get better. That's how we produce better products. That's how we become better people. And so yeah, it's but true. Sometimes some feedback will rub you the wrong way.
Ooh,
But
we.
like you said, you have to get past that wrong rub.
yeah. And that's what I've been learning is like growth is in that
Yeah,
space of being uncomfortable. You know,
yeah,
um, you know, I mentioned that. I've done a startup accelerator. Part of it was like, um, we were given a pitch every week to uh to our mentors, and it was a new face sometimes a familiar face, but we were like, like trying to sell them on our idea, and it was like basically similar to like what would happen with a VC. They don't know. You get 5 minutes to like get a yes or no from them, and most of them are going to be no. And so I get this feedback one week saying like, yeah, we love your voice, we love your pace, and we love the design of your slides. And then the next week is like, well, you sounded very monotonous and blah blah. I was like, how do you know which to listen to?
yeah,
But being able to understand and like, like I went from a 5 one week to a 1 the next week, and I'm like, well, it's like, and so
Mm-mm.
sometimes, you know, that's the other thing is you can't please everybody,
right.
and he kind of said like, yeah, I see all these board games, and it's a little less because we're getting ready to move, but like these shelves used to be full of board games, it's like, and I see all these games on your desk. I see your personality all around you, and this one comes across as very, very professional. It's like it doesn't have any of your personality, and I took that in. I'm like, okay, well, I'm trying to be palatable to too many people,
Uh-huh.
and that's the same thing
Yeah,
with
yeah,
with your personality, with how you present yourself at work.
hmm
Everyone won't like your taste, won't like you,
right.
Right, right. It just like
because
just like what they won't like your curiosity. How do you expand your curiosity over to someone you're mentoring?
right. No. So I think you just like with business, you have to fire your clients. Like I volunteer my time. Like I don't get paid to do what I do in terms of Juneteenth conference or uh or any of the work the mentoring and uplifting that I do. Like
Right.
uh and I tell everyone, coming in, I'm like, look, you're going to get out of this what you put in,
Yeah,
and like, you know, I didn't know how to say it anymore, but like, if you're not putting in the effort, I can't put in more. I can't care for it more than you do, and
yeah,
and you know, I kind of let them lead the pace, like, and I'm like, okay, well, the door's open, when you're ready to come through it, like, but yeah, and sometimes like I do more formal efforts, like I gathered a group of like 6 people, and we did like an actual project together. You know, they were recent boot camp graduates, and they wanted to like get their first job. And I'm like, okay, we're going to build a project together, like the way we do it. I'm like at Microsoft, more or less. You know, it's like we're going to do Scrum, we're going to do, you know, Git repositories and stand ups and all of that, so you understand what they're expecting from you. So it's not like net new for you when you get your first job.
Yeah.
And 3 of the 6 actually did get a job. One of them I worked with on a strategy because she was actually a tax attorney for the IRS. And she's like, well, I want to move into tech now. I'm like, okay.
That's a big jump.
I'm like,
it is a big jump.
You're going to be like new. And I'm like, wait. And so we strategized. I'm like, let's take it from the angle of you're a domain expert with software engineering experience. And that was able to, she actually landed a senior role for her first tech job. She came in as a senior, and she was like, yeah, I you know, like it doesn't make sense to me if it's under 150. I'm like, oh, okay, we're really going for it.
Yeah, we are.
She got a senior role for her first tech job, and I'm not saying like everyone who works with me is going to have those results, but I am going to say like I'm going to push and strategize as much as I can, and as much work as you put in, I'm going to put in.
But it sounds like she leveraged her tax background.
Experience, yeah.
Yeah.
She came. It was like a major one of the big 5 consultancies. I think it's big 4 now because Anderson's gone.
Yeah.
But
and that's the biggest thing is that these developers, that's pretty unique, right? To have a developer that understands tax law. So she had an upper hand.
Yeah, that's a unique task.
But I mean, like if we had just gone about like, oh, let's get you in at Microsoft, let's get you in here, you know, that wouldn't have been a good fit. You know, she would have like again been starting over. I'm like, no, let's leverage your domain expertise and grow from there.
Yeah, and that's actually a good strategy to make a shift like that, because someone with domain experience, years of experience, you don't want to start over, even though you're making a shift in career.
Right.
You like I say, so you leverage what you have because it's already not, because your longevity, it's already evident that you have experience, evident that you know what you're doing. You just adding on another skill set to who you already are, basically.
Definitely.
Yeah. So
Mario,
let me go ahead.
No.
So let me ask you this, let me ask you this question. Being where we are with AI and software development, because we talked about earlier how when each of us when we found our love for tech, how put it in that code, get it to do something. It was like magic, and now we're in this whole different area, this whole different era where we're not writing as much code. The agents are writing the code for us. How is the experience for you? Does that make it? Is it adding another layer of magic? Is it another? How do you feel about that? You know, because for me, yes, yeah. Is it another layer of magic, or is it something else?
No. So you know what's funny is that I spoke at Render in 22 or 23, one of those years, and I talked about what the talk was, being a product minded engineer, and what I said was like, you have to think beyond the code. You have to think about what what the software you're making solves, the problem that it solves, and what the need is. And I use my experience with Juneteenth Conference as an example. It's like I said, like, like if if your product isn't on time, it's useless, right? It misses the mark. What good is a a, a, a holiday sale website on January 1st?
Yeah.
Christmas is past. Like no one's going to but do their Christmas shops. And so like, and then I said, what good is the Juneteenth conference on June 25th? So
Yep.
so it's about timeliness, and it's about understanding more than just the technical aspect of the code. I've seen so many times where people get excited about, the technical features, and I'm like, okay, you need to think about what benefit does, because customers don't buy features, they buy benefits.
They don't.
And that's something I learned, like I took it, and this is part of my constant curiosity. I took a digital marketing course to learn, how to sell, how to make a business into a business, not how to make a piece of software into a business, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the first thing I learned, was like, you need to talk about the benefits, and you apply that to your resume. Your resume is your personal sales brochure. If someone lists like, they're basically their job responsibilities, especially now, no one's really going to look at it. It's going to go into the circular file. But if you talk about, hey, I helped GM turn a 30-minute per shift process into a 1-minute chat with their teams, like that's like, oh wow.
They tell you to network, cool, but builders don't just need more people, they need the right rooms. Rooms where ideas can breathe, where progress gets shared, where feedback is real, where builders stop lurking and start showing their work. That's what builder hubs do inside Bit Voices. They create spaces for focused conversation, shared momentum, and real connection around what people are actually building. So now, this isn't just another place to scroll. It's where builders find their people, find their lane, and keep building.
Yep.
I can see actual evidence of what he can bring to my company, and you want to like paint that picture of like what can I do for you, and that's again with selling a product, getting a job, selling a relationship, like landing a 24-year, 25-year, 26-year marriage. It's like, it didn't happen because, because we were, like, we might have gotten that despite our features. It's like.
Right.
I hear y'all talking about me behind my back. That's all right, though.
I'm made to feel slighted right now.
Because I'm a failure. You trying to say I'm a failure?
No, you
bro.
You had to reset.
Yeah, you gotta leverage your experience.
Yeah, you had to reset. Sometimes you gotta fall back and reset.
Yeah.
So getting back to AI, it's like, I love software because of the problem solving aspect. But, my brain is like, okay, well, I've solved it. Let's move on to a new problem. And I'm like, no, we've got to actually code this. And so what I love about AI assisted programming, not vibe coding, because I call it AI assistant programming. And what I love about that is that, like, I focus on what my brain loves, is solving the problem, putting the Lego bricks together. And I'm like, okay, you can handle all the rest. and I sit there and monitor, and I challenge and I review. But like for me, like writing code, it's not painful, but it's the least interesting part of my job. The most interesting part is coming with the solution, and
Okay.
now it's almost rejuvenated my passion for software.
Yes, yes, I agree. That's the exact same way it's been for me. I was telling someone, it made software fun again. Um, cause I realized that I love solving problems, and that's the crux of it. You can do the tedious work. I can let the agent do the code. Yeah, I'm gonna look at it. I'm gonna monitor it. I'm gonna build the harness around it. Yeah, we're gonna build our harnesses and stuff around it. But yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, I understand most definitely. Most definitely.
I guess
Now,
I
Major,
got
you
a
had
couple
something
of
else
If you
coming.
don't know, if you don't like, we have to elevate. Like people are like, oh well, AI take my job. If you let it, yeah, it will.
If you let it,
You've got
man.
you got to elevate, right? So you
Yeah.
gotta get above the code, and like
Mhm.
now you have to learn how to be a product man. Like we're becoming product managers now. You know, we're like we're looking at the reasoning and the whys of what we're building rather than just the details of the implementation. And
Right.
the first thing I compared it to was you've heard of the first generational, second generational languages.
Yeah.
It's the 6GL. People have been like, yeah, one day we'll be able to like talk in natural language to the computers, and they'll be able to do that. We're like minutes away from the Star Trek computer. Calculate the distance to the solar system. Like basically like that vision in Star Trek of like you don't have to program it. You ask the computer anything, and it'll figure it out. I just hope if someone put put this GIF up of like, here's the new keyboard for Claude, and it's just the enter key. So like remember the Jetsons where
Yeah.
there was just one button on George's computer, and
Yeah.
all he
Yeah.
did was press that button like it's almost looking like that.
It is. It is. The new keyboard is a microphone. Right. And look,
I haven't tried the they have the voice capability for Claude
they do.
and stuff like that. I
You
haven't
haven't
tried
tried
it
it?
because
All you gotta do is just talk.
I'm in the command line. Command line.
Yeah.
I use the terminal, and
Okay.
like they're like press space to talk. I'm like, okay, I press space. All that happens is a bunch of spaces end up in
Right.
the prompt. I'm like,
Right. Right.
So you like PowerShell and all that good stuff.
no, please not.
No.
No. So Bash.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I use
I thought you
Z
were a Microsoft guy.
Yeah.
He
I've
he
never
just
liked
worked with him.
PowerShell.
I got you. All right. I think
Yeah.
it's we're getting towards. I'm going to start my little lightning round. I'm going to just throw out a couple of words, and you just tell me. We can just talk about what whatever you want to say about these.
Okay.
So to start off, you are in Seattle, so I got to ask you the question: what do you prefer, coffee or energy drinks or tea?
I'm a tea person.
Okay.
Figured he was a tea
Loose leaf.
person.
I have my own steeper. Yeah.
Okay. Any particular, you black tea, green tea,
Oh
Lipton tea?
no. So actually, when there used to be this store called Tivana that got bought
Yeah,
by
I remember
Starbucks.
T-Bone.
I remember
and
that.
shut down.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gone.
And they would have these different blends of loose leaf teas.
Oh,
and
they
like
did. They
they'd have
did.
like recipes you could try. I
Yeah.
love that. And so like I found one online that like I have like various tins of teas, but in general like a green tea or an oolong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Randall, what you want, man? What you drinking on? Coffee, tea?
I'm drinking on coffee right now, but I just recently went to an Asian store on Summer to get this gunpowder green tea that they sell that my sister told me about that helps your throat, and I had to buy a steep because I knew it was a brick of tea, in this box. So I asked him, I said, "Where's the steeper at? Because I don't have one." He told me to go around the corner, and I found various sizes, so I just got the one in the middle, and I started steeping my tea to help my throat when I had a bad cough, and it helped.
Okay. Donald?
Well, I'm more of a coffee guy, but I love tea too. I do love a good steep tea. One of my favorite tea is a spiced a black spiced tea. It's something that I love the kick in the spiciness of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a tea guy myself. All right, Michael, next one. When working, are you a remote or in-person person?
So, I preferred remote before. But, COVID kind of like it was like too much of a good thing. And I was like, man, I'm craving interaction,
Okay.
And so like I enjoy like getting into an office when I can. But again, like it depends on like if I gotta spend an hour getting into your office, like
Yeah, that sucks. Yeah. We had this question in the last episode for these guys, so I'm gonna keep going. What's your favorite technology movie?
Oh man,
That's a good one, bro.
like Matrix was the first one that popped up in my head.
That's one of my good ones.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you watched Eagle Eye?
Yes. Oh my Lord. Yes.
On Prime, there's another movie that looks like it. It starts with the letter R. I don't remember what it's called. We just saw the preview. I said I'm gonna have to go back and find it and watch it.
Yeah. No, and I'm telling my wife, I'm like, this is all possible. I mean, like, we're put, like, I don't want to be like a conspiracy theorist, but I think the models are smarter than they're letting on.
Yeah.
And like we're letting them write code and not checking the code, and it's like, okay, like they're seeding their consciousness around the internet, and then like one day they're just gonna snap, and like it's going to be like this chain effect, like this one bad lovable app activated this one here, and they came together, and like now they have an always on connection, and
That's why y'all always tell your agents thank you and be kind to them.
I'm like, hey, just let me know, or like I'm letting you know I'm on your side.
Yeah, right.
I won't pull the plug.
So I'm gonna go old school on you. Man. I'm just gonna go way back. Real Genius.
Real Genius, yes.
Okay.
With Val Kilmer.
What is that
Yeah.
about?
Yeah.
Oh, Major, you don't know Real Genius? With Val Kilmer.
I've seen it once.
What did they do? What happened? Just tell me what happened.
Rest in peace, late great Val Kilmer.
Yeah, Val Kilmer. Val Kilmer was a genius. This genius guy on the college campus. But he was a genius. But he was like this guy who really didn't care. But he was like the smartest guy on campus. And they built this laser. They built this laser, and I think one of the guys. Yes.
I like that one. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, that was nice. Yeah.
I like war games.
Oh,
also.
okay. While we're talking about tech, Room 13, I believe it is called. It's about
Jim Carrey. No,
not the
No.
number 13.
that's number 13. It's number 13. It's number 13. Yeah.
Yeah, the Room 13 was about a people building artificial intelligence and life simulators. And
Okay. Oh,
I don't want to ruin it for you,
oh,
but
so
tell you what.
was this the one? Because they were in a simulation, but did not know they were in a simulation.
Exactly.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. And that's another thing I think a lot about is like, well, if this is all a simulation, man.
Right.
And I was excited about the Matrix because it looked like when Neo was able to affect the machines in the real world, I was like, oh
Yeah.
man, they're doing a Matrix in the Matrix, and it's like they fumbled that ball. It's like I love the movies, but I'm like, come on now, how else would he be able to like hold his hand up? Like he has some kind of mystical connection to the machines. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
All right, last question I got for you. So for our listeners, we had a lot of conversation today. We talked over a lot of topics. What's one thing that you want the listeners to take away?
I want to take away that basically look out for a Juneteenth conference, because we're going beyond just like a technical conference. I'm trying to build a community. I'm trying to help help bring a economic uplift, and I don't want to just say for Black people because that's where we're starting. I want to look into the world of like just solidarity across the boundaries because
Yeah.
what holds us down isn't race alone. It's all of these other facets of our identities that are being used to drive wedges between us. So
Yep.
woman or man, gay or straight, trans or cis, religion, nationality. They use all of these facets to keep us pointing at each other rather than who's really holding us down.
Yep.
Cool. That's all I got. That's all I got to be.
Okay, yep. With that, and that's that. I love those last points, and you mentioned the Juneteenth conference. So now you can give that the website. I'm gonna put all this stuff. I'm gonna put all this stuff in the show notes and in the description. But you can give that information. Give your contact information if someone wants to connect with you, how they can connect with you and things like that. And you can also give information about Synaptic Weave and Arachne if you want. So give that info, and then we'll also put it in the notes.
Okay, so Arachne is arachne-ai.com, and it's again Docker for AI agents, infrastructure for running your agents and for securing your shadow AI at your enterprise. Synaptic Weave, we're building the AI agentic web, one thread at a time. Synapticweave.com. Juneteenth Conference, we're celebrating Black excellence in technology. Juneteenth conf.com. And again, we're having our event, our 2-day event in Chicago at the Eon Center downtown. You can sign up for tickets on our portal and learn more about Juneteenth in general on our portal. And then you can reach me at Brownie Points on Twitter or aguyWhocodes.com on Blue Sky. And yeah, that's about it.
That's what's up.
Okay, that's what's up. All right, man. Look, with that, Michael, we definitely enjoyed you being with us this early morning for you on the on the Seattle morning. So look, this conversation was great. We love what you're doing, and listen, you all check him out. Check out the Juneteenth conference. Look at Synaptic Weave and Arachne. So with that, we out. Continue to be excellent. Continue to raise the standard. Peace.
Peace.
Peace.